Come early, we'll celebrate, my mom said. But when we arrived, my daughter's name tag read, limited guest. My brother whispered, that means no food. I quietly texted, cancel everything. 30 minutes later, they regretted every word. You know that feeling when you realize a lifetime of loyalty has been nothing more than a carefully crafted cage? That's exactly how it hit me, standing in my parents' living room, watching them label my 5-year-old daughter limited guest for a party that was supposed to be about family. I'm Mark, 33. I've always been the quiet one, the fixer. The son my family called when a bill was due, or a tire blew out in the middle of the night. For years, I just showed up, because it felt cheaper than the fight that would surely follow if I didn't. My younger brother, Nathan, he's the golden child. The one with the easy smile, the story for every room, the charm that gets extra fries. Mom calls him her miracle, Dad calls him a born closer. He's launched 3 businesses and closed 2, with the third always about to pop off. And I kept my head down, paid my own way, and said yes whenever they asked for just this once. I met Lena at 25, we married at 27. Our daughter, Mia, she's 5 now, and utterly obsessed with stickers and pockets. Her tiny notes that say, for daddy, are my most prized possessions. From the outside, we look like any normal family. Holidays, pictures, the occasional silly fight. But my family, they had a unique way of measuring love, with receipts. Who paid? Who showed up? Who owes? And for as long as I could remember, that always meant me owing. The quiet resentment had been building for years, a slow, steady tide. It never started with one big blow. It started with the small math, the tiny paper cuts that never quite healed. At 22, I co-signed Nathan's first car. 6 months, he promised to refinance. He didn't. A year later, 2 missed payments. I covered them because the bank doesn't care about excuses, Mom said. When I asked Nathan for the money back, he just shrugged. Bro, relax. It's all circulating, like water, not work. At 24, I moved into my first apartment. My parents didn't come to see it. We've seen plenty of small places, Dad said. You'll upgrade when you grow up. The same month, Mom sent me a photo of Nathan's new condo view. He's thriving, she wrote. 3 weeks later, I paid Nathan's HOA late fee. Couldn't have a strike against the family's reputation, could we? Lena and I got married at City Hall when I was 26. We invited everyone. Mom texted the morning of rain. They didn't come. That night, Dad messaged me. You should have chosen a Saturday. And from Mom, we'll do a bigger celebration when Nathan is back from his retreat. Retreat, where Nathan was posting boat selfies. The next day, he Venmo'd me. We're in a bind. I sent him $200. Being a good brother looks like patience, I told myself. When Mia was born, Mom put her hand on my shoulder at the hospital. Now you'll finally understand what it means to sacrifice, she said. But her eyes were already on Nathan, standing beside me. You'll be a great uncle, she told him. He just winked. I always am. The asks kept coming, each in a different costume. Can you float me $1,100, just until Friday? We're $387 short on rent. Coach Tim says if we can raise $5,000, the gym will put Nathan on the flyer. Exposure. I even started a spreadsheet to keep track, not just of the money, but to convince myself I wasn't crazy. Dates, amounts, hollow reasons, promised return dates that slid like jelly. The total climbed. $8,000, $12,000, then $17,640. Every time I tried to talk about it, Mom would say, don't nickel and dime your brother, we're family. Dad would chime in, real men don't keep score. And Nathan? It's all going to make sense when the product hits. That product changed names 3 times, fitness app, meal prep, a hybrid community experience. I'd spend midnight hours cleaning up his pastel slide decks, fixing grammar and numbers, making sense of promises that didn't exist. He'd present, get some polite claps, a few let's revisit comments, then call me, ecstatic. We're so close. Meanwhile, our life was small, but steady. I fixed laptops, Lena taught art at the community center. Sundays meant coffee, a pencil, and budgeting. We said no to vacations because daycare felt like a second rent. We were okay. Not flashy, just okay. The guilt came wrapped as concern. Lena deserves better, Mom would say on the phone. Do you ever think about that? A woman wants security. Nathan knows how to provide. I almost laughed. Does he? She'd huff. He will, if people stop dragging him down. There were little humiliations you couldn't even take a picture of. Thanksgiving, a huge turkey leg for Nathan, a small one for me. You don't need more, Mom declared. Christmas, Nathan's kids got drones and bikes. Mia, 4 years old, received a coloring book for ages 3+. When I got a small promotion, title change, same pay, Dad said. Titles don't feed a family. But when Nathan posted a photo of a borrowed luxury watch, Dad reposted it with, proud of my boy. Lena, bless her, tried to keep the peace. She wore the smile you wear when you know the camera's on. But in the car, she'd exhale, a deep, tired breath, like she'd been holding her lungs hostage. We can skip the next one, she'd say. We can, I'd agree. But then Mom would call. It would mean a lot if you were here, and I'd hear myself say, we'll be there. Then the money asks started blooming into plans I was explicitly supposed to fund. Picture this. Nathan announced one night at my parents' table, chopping the air like a CEO. Family equity. We all put in, we all own it. Mark handles the finances. Dad's name helps with lending. Mom runs front of house. Jess does social. We're unstoppable. Lena, ever practical, asked, "What are the terms?" Nathan blinked. "Terms? You said equity." He leaned back. "Wow, she's intense." Mom cut in. "Don't ruin this with details. Trust is the term." I forced myself to ask, "What's the number?" Nathan smiled. "Seed is small. Just 50. We can do 30 now, 20 later. Friendly paper. 50,000. Lena gasped. "Relax," Mom said. "It's not all from you too. You're not selfish." But when the group chat, family fund reel, went up, the only requests with dollar signs had my name under them. Aunt Cheryl was praying. Uncle Ray was networking. Coach Tim sent a flex emoji. And I sent $750 to show good faith. Then $1,250 bridge. Then $2,000 closing this week, FR. That week never closed. I started waking up at 2:11 a.m., like my body had an alarm for dread. I'd stare at the ceiling, listing numbers. Rent, daycare, groceries, gas. Mom's small ask for Nathan's kids' camp fees, because summer brain is real. The spreadsheet total hit $23,980. 2 months before that party, Mia had a fever. We were at urgent care at 1 a.m. Lena slept upright. Mia curled like a bean on my chest. My phone buzzed. "Nathan, yo, can you do me a quick 400? Literally stuck at pump." I put my phone face down. The next morning, Mom texted, "When you're a parent, you'll understand it's emergencies all day." I typed and deleted 3 replies. I sent nothing. That night, Dad called. "What happened to you? You used to be generous." He sighed, a loud, theatrical sigh into the speaker. "Don't change on us." I didn't say, "I am changing, on purpose." I didn't say, "This isn't generosity, it's extraction." I just said, "We'll be at the party." And then came the party. Gray and sticky, like the mood that would soon descend. Mia wore a yellow dress and asked if there'd be cake. Yes, I told her, because at my parents' house, there was always cake for Nathan and crumbs for the rest of us. We brought salad and pastries, because Mom said our grocery store stuff tasted like cardboard. I parked on the street, because Dad's driveway was for family cars, which somehow never meant mine. Inside, balloons, a banner proclaiming big moves ahead. Nathan's kids tearing around. Mom swooped in with a hug that never quite reached her hands. "You made it," she said to me. Then, to Mia, "Oh, look at you, sunshine." Lena handed over the pastries. Mom waved them away. "We'll see if there's room." At a table by the entry, name tags awaited. Mom, Dad, Nathan, Jess, his wife, Uncle Ray, even Coach Tim. And then, the one that stopped me cold. Mia, limited guest. I blinked. "What is this?" Mom didn't look up. "Oh, just a system. We had to plan plates. Don't overthink it." Lena's jaw went tight. "Limited? How?" Mom finally smiled, as if we were being utterly silly. "Kids make a mess. They nibble. We did half portions for under 6. It's not personal." Nathan swaggered past, read it, then leaned in close, whispering, "That means no food." It was the kind of joke he thought made him lovable. His boys heard him, and they laughed loud, like a signal. Mia looked up at me, then at her tag, then back at me, her little brow furrowed as if trying to understand what she had done wrong. My ears went hot. It wasn't loud anger. It was something smaller, colder. The part of me that usually said, "It's fine," just went quiet, like it finally ran out of batteries. Dad clapped me on the shoulder. "Don't sulk," he said. "Plenty to go around if you behave." Lena whispered, "Mark." "I know," I said. We walked deeper into the house. Laughter from the kitchen. A whiteboard in the dining room, plastered with numbers and arrows. Investment, family first. Mia's tag stuck crookedly to her dress. She touched it, confused. I took her hand, squeezed twice. "Our code for your safe." Then someone behind me said, "Make sure the limited guests don't touch the shrimp." And everyone laughed, like it wasn't about a 5-year-old with stickers in her pockets. I didn't argue. Not then. I just swallowed the taste of metal and told myself we'd eat after. I told myself I could take one more small thing and walk it to the trash without a sound. That was the last lie I told myself that day. The party hummed with forced gaiety. Jess handed out glasses. Dad launched into his tired old story about Nathan selling a snow cone to a snowman at 6 years old. Everyone laughed. I watched Mia at the kids' table, an empty plate before her, her little hands folded politely, in a room that didn't earn it. When the food line finally opened, Mom stood guard like a bouncer. Labels, prime, standard, limited. Next to limited was a small stack of napkins and 2 apple slices. Like a cruel joke, Lena stepped forward, her voice steady. "She's 5. She eats dinner." Mom smiled, no warmth in her eyes. "Then she can have dinner at home." "She is at home," Lena retorted, her voice firm, like a ruler in her family's house. Dad's voice boomed from behind us. "Don't make a scene." Nathan clinked a spoon against a glass. "Before we grub," he announced, stepping towards the whiteboard. I want to say something. He beamed. We're at the cusp. We've got a verbal from a real angel. We just need to close the family round to show momentum. It's not even about the cash, it's the signal. We do this together. And when I ring that bell, we all eat. He tapped the marker on Family First, written 3 times. So we've got asks, but also gifts. This is community. Mom nodded, like a parishioner in church. Dad crossed his arms. Jess filmed. Nathan looked directly at me. Mark, you're the cornerstone. We talked about it. 30 today locks a better match. We'll paper it. Friendly terms. It's not a loan. It's love. I just stared at him. 30 what? He chuckled, a condescending sound. 1,000 obviously. We can split it over the next 6 weeks. 10 today shows faith. Lena's eyebrow shot up. You said small seed. Mom placed a hand on Lena's elbow. Men are talking. Something went very quiet in my head. Like a winter morning, where the air snaps with absolute stillness. I looked at Mia, at her name tag, at the 2 measly apple slices, at the whiteboard with arrows pointing to my name like a drain. I thought about the 2:11 a.m. dread. About pediatric fevers. About the word limited plastered on my daughter's chest, because someone decided she was allowed to be hungry in their house. I looked at Nathan, at Mom, at Dad. And then, I simply said, no. The room did that small wobble rooms do just before a drop. Mom blinked. No what? No to the round. No to the cornerstoning. No to the friendly paper. No to all of this. Dad snorted. Don't be a child, Mark. Grow up. Nathan smiled, as if we were playing. You're kidding. I'm not, I said. Jess slowly lowered her phone. Wow. Mom's voice went cold. We have company. So do I said, nodding towards Lena and Mia. And she's hungry. I walked to the food line. I took a plate. I filled it. Chicken, rice, salad, a roll, 2 strawberries from the prime bowl. I was done pretending berries obeyed a seating chart. I carried it to Mia. Her eyes widened. For me? For you? I said. All of it. Mom hissed. Those portions are planned. I looked at her, my voice low but firm. Then your plan failed. Dad's face flushed. You don't come into my house. And this isn't about your house. I cut him off. This is about my kid. Watch your tone, he seethed. I have been, I said. For 33 years. Nathan chuckled, leaning back. Bro, emotions aren't assets. We're building legacy. Don't embarrass yourself over a plate. Lena, calm and fierce, reached down and took Mia's tag off, setting it face down on the table. Your legacy, she said, her voice cutting through the tension, is written in how you treat people who can't push back yet. Silence. The kind that hurts your ears. Mom broke it, her voice a poisonous sweetness. If you can't support your brother, then maybe this isn't the place for you. I nodded. I agree. Dad laughed, once hard. You think you can shame us? You need us more than you admit. I shook my head. I needed you to be kind. You chose clever. Nathan leaned forward, elbows on his knees, his mask of charm finally cracking. Here's what's going to happen. You'll cool down. You'll apologize for making a scene. You'll wire 10 by Monday, so we can make Tuesday's meeting hit. We'll put you on the cap table. You get to brag later. Everybody wins. Or you keep acting like a martyr, and you're out. He spread his hands, a dismissive gesture. Your call. I looked at him. At my parents. At the whiteboard, still screaming, family first. And then at my little girl, happily chewing chicken, oblivious to the tug-of-war happening over her head. And I felt it settle in me, like a key turning in a lock. Not dramatic, just final. This isn't about revenge, I said, my voice steady in a way I almost didn't recognize. This is about closure. Mom scoffed. Closure? Don't be theatrical. It means, I replied, I'm done playing a role you wrote for me. I stood up. I took Lena's hand. I picked up Mia's little backpack with the unicorn zipper. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't slam a door. I just walked to the entry table, picked up a pen, and on the back of Mia's limited guest tag, I wrote one word. No. Nathan's boys watched us like we were a show. One whispered, he's mad, in that delighted tone kids use. Dad took a step, as if he might block the door. I waited. He didn't. We reached the porch. The sun had slipped behind the neighbor's roof. The yard smelled of charcoal and something overcooked. I could hear laughter starting again inside, forced and loud. Lena squeezed my hand. What now? I unlocked the car. Now we eat, I said. And then we draw lines. I didn't look back. We drove to a diner with cracked leather booths and a waitress who called everyone honorable. Mia devoured waffles with strawberries that belonged to no tier. Lena slid a plate towards me. You okay? I nodded, then shook my head. I am and I'm not. She put her palm over my knuckles. Both can be true. My phone buzzed on the table, face down. It buzzed again, and again, 12 times in a minute, then more. I turned it over. 27 messages. 14 missed calls. The Family Fun Reel group chat was lighting up like a slot machine. Mom, you embarrassed us. Dad, you made your mother cry. Jess, you ruined the vibe. Nathan, you'll regret this. Followed by, are you out of your mind? This is bigger than your feelings. Aunt Cheryl, praying. Coach Tim, flex emoji. Then, we good. Uncle Ray, don't burn bridges. You never know. Lena took a picture of Mia's syrup grin. You don't need to answer, she said. I know. I replied, though my thumb hovered, a muscle memory, wanting to explain itself. A new message. Nathan again. Deadline is Tuesday. Wire 10K by noon, or I erase you from the cap table and from my life. I read it twice. I laughed, a humorless sound. Erase me. I said softly, mostly to myself. Haven't you been trying? We went home. We gave Mia her bath, read her bedtime story. Why did Grandma call me limited, she asked. I swallowed. Because grown-ups forget their words are sharp, I said. You are not limited. You are my favorite everything. She nodded, like a little scientist recording data. Okay, she said, and slid a sticker into my pocket. When she slept, I took the shoebox down from the closet, added the sticker, and opened my laptop. I pulled up the spreadsheet. I looked at every line, every memo, every just till Friday. I remembered the times I'd transferred money from our grocery budget and pretended I hadn't. The nights Lena squeezed my hand in the dark and said, "We'll be okay." Even when okay felt like a cliff edge. Lena leaned on the doorframe. What are you doing? Cleaning, I said. Digitally. Everywhere. I opened my banking app. I created new sub-accounts. House emergency, Mia, us. I changed 2 passwords. I turned on alerts. I scrolled to recurring transfers with names that weren't ours and canceled them one by one. My hands shook, not with fear, but with release. Dad called. I let it ring. He called again. 9 calls in 10 minutes. Then a voicemail. Another. I didn't listen. I knew their script. I'd been acting it out for a decade. At 9:32 p.m., Mom texted, "Come early tomorrow. We'll talk it out." At 9:34, "We're family." At 9:36, "Don't be dramatic." At 9:41, a photo of Nathan's whiteboard with family first circled and a caption, "This is for you, too, if you stop being selfish." It's almost funny how people will weaponize a word like family until it just means, do what I want. At 10:05 p.m., Nathan, "Okay, real talk. Jess is freaking out. I told her you'll fix it. You always fix it. Send 5K tonight to show movement. I'll tell them you're good for the rest." Then bro. Then don't make me look stupid. Then answer mad. Then coward. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. The silence felt like new snow. Sunday morning, 7:12 a.m. Dad again. We were making pancakes. Mia was stirring, tongue out in concentration. The phone buzzed across the counter, Dad's name flashing like an alarm I'd set in childhood. I pressed decline. Who was that? Mia asked. A spam call, I said. It wasn't a lie. Sometimes the truth is about function, not label. By noon, the texts changed flavor, threats dressed like logic. Dad, if you don't contribute, don't expect help when you need it. Mom, you'll regret pushing your family away. Nathan, I'll make sure everyone knows who killed this. Jess, people don't forget. By evening, they tried a new angle. Mom, Mia will miss out. Think about the children. I stared at that one until the screen dimmed. Monday, 43 missed calls, 31 texts, 2 emails with subject lines like final chance and family matters. A Venmo request from Nathan for $10,000 with a fire emoji. I clicked decline. He resent for $5,000. Decline. $2,500. Decline. $1,000. Decline. He messaged, petty. I thought of Dad's line. Real men don't keep score. The ledger in my head went quiet. At lunch, Lena sat across from me and slid a notebook onto the table. A clean page, a pen. Okay, she said. What do we want our life to look like if we stop trying to pass their tests? I wrote, predictable mornings. She wrote, no 2:11 a.m. dread. I wrote, savings with our name on it. She wrote, holidays that don't end with a fight. We wrote for an hour. It looked small and plain and holy. Tuesday came. Noon passed. I did not wire. At 12:07 p.m., Nathan, you chose wrong. At 12:08, I'm done with you. At 12:09, a screenshot of the group chat where he wrote, Mark bailed. We proceed without dead weight. There were thumbs up reactions from people who didn't know our budget. Mom wrote, he's going through something. He'll come around. Dad, not under my roof. Aunt Cheryl, praying. Coach Tim, flex emoji. I turned my phone off. I took a walk. The air smelled like fresh-cut grass and hot asphalt. My body felt heavier and lighter at once, like I'd set down a bag I forgot I was carrying, and now my shoulders didn't know what to do without it. Wednesday morning, Mom showed up at our apartment, unannounced. That old key. I met her at the door before she could even step in. You changed, she said, without a hello. I grew, I replied. You've let your wife poison you against your own blood. Lena appeared from the kitchen. Good morning to you, too, she said. Mom lowered her voice. Mark, be reasonable. Your brother needs you. My daughter needed dinner, I said. She got a name tag instead. Mom flinched. That was logistics. No, I said. That was a message. She looked me up and down, as if I'd shrunk. We made you who you are. I shook my head. You gave me a start. I made me. She pressed her lips together. Your father says if you won't apologize, don't bother coming on Sunday. I won't, I said. To both. She stared past me into our tiny living room. The toys, the plants that kept trying, the visible life of a family that budgeted. You'll come around, she said finally, as if saying it out loud could bend the future. Maybe, I said, but not back. She left. The key clicked. I leaned my forehead against the door for a long time, feeling the cool paint. Lena touched my back. You did it, she said. Did what? Chose us. The call slowed. The text got colder, shorter, rarer. Then came a dangerous silence, the kind where people are either healing or plotting. 2 weeks later, I got a letter. Not from a lawyer, thank God, but from a bank. A late notice on an account with my name as cosigner. The car. 90 days delinquent. Immediate action required. My chest tightened. I called Nathan. He didn't answer. I called again. Nothing. I drove to my parents' house. I left Mia with Lena. I told myself I wasn't going to argue. I was going to untie a knot I tied at 22. Dad opened the door, eyebrows already raised in judgment. I need the car paperwork, I said. He moved to close the door. We're eating. I held it with my palm. I need it today. Inside, Nathan sat on the couch, eyes on his phone. He didn't look up. Hey, I said. He kept scrolling. You dead to me, remember? Then release my name, I said. He laughed. Do your worst. Okay, I said. I called the bank right there in their driveway. I explained everything. I asked for the steps. The woman on the phone was surprisingly kind. She told me the options. None of them were free. I chose the one that hurt least long-term and most today. I paid the back amount. I removed myself as cosigner. It was money I didn't want to spend, but more than that, it was the sound of a lock clicking. An ancient one. I texted Nathan the confirmation. You're welcome, I wrote. He replied with a middle finger emoji. I stared at it and felt nothing. Not even anger. Just information. That night, we ate pasta with Jared sauce and garlic toast. It tasted like a feast. We watched a cartoon. Mia fell asleep on my chest. My phone sat face down and quiet. For the first time in years, I didn't dread the sound it might make. The house felt hunkered down, safe. The future didn't feel like a trap. It felt like a hallway with doors we could choose.